If you fail, actually, it's actually good, because no matter what happened to you, then you can be resilient and then start a new journey, a better one, because this is life. If you don't fail, then you don't experience anything. You need to fail to be successful. I broke my leg the other way, and my plateau tibia just broke. And after that, as an acrobat, when something happened to you like this, you like useless. Like, how I'm gonna getting back on track, getting back in the show. This is my whole life. Trying to be on stage, and then to show people my abilities and such. But I'm like, oh, this is gone. So then my mind start to freak out, and then like, you're never gonna be able to do this, to do this, to do this. Couple weeks later, I had a revelation, a simple one. Like, well, if I can't use my legs, why I don't use my hands? That's why I became a handstand master, because I failed breaking my leg.
You're going from a person's most traumatic, probably athletic experience, somehow cultivated this into an art and a mastery.
Yeah, there is something here, I already have the base because I worked 16 years as a gymnast. So I'm like, okay, so I know how to do a handstand. Let's explore more. What can I do? One arm, handstand push-ups, going 100 steps, going down, walking handstand 100 steps in France. I even did a handstand on the top of a moving car. So I'm like, okay, so you see, like, anything is possible.
Why do some athletes seem like they can never achieve their weight loss or fitness goals, while others seem like they can just do it any time of the week? Today, I'm going to be talking about 3 potential fears that may be limiting your ability to progress in your health journey. And in today's episode, I got one of my newer coaches with me to help me out with this particular topic, Coach Mathieu. Welcome, man.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you for having me today.
For those of you who don't know Coach Mathieu, he's one of our newer coaches in here. I feel like I've been trying to get the Avengers of coaches, and I got another piece. Someone that really has a mastery around gymnastics, which is an area for our team. I mean, we're decent at gymnastics, but not to the level that you're in. So I'm really excited to bring you on as a team. So I wanted to welcome you to our team. But we're not necessarily just talking about gymnastics. We're talking about fear of all of these 3 fears. But before we dive in, give me your 1-minute spiel of who you are, so the audience can get an understanding of why this topic is so important.
Okay. My name is Mathieu Bolillo. I am a fitness coach, a circus performer. I've been doing gymnastics for more than 16 years, high-level gymnastics. I used to work for one of the shows in Las Vegas on the Strip. It's called Car, one of the most dangerous shows in the world, actually. Yeah. And I'm also an entrepreneur. I love to create. I love to help people in a unique way. And I'm also a handstand master.
Yeah, handstand specialist, which is what we're going to be really diving about. Okay. Because here's one thing that we do, guys. So that's something that we do with all our coaches. We do these auditions, primarily just to see where their expertise is and how much work we have to do, and if there is too much work. And dude, you crushed it. And in fact, like, the coaches and I were like, that was a master class. I would have paid a lot of money just to be inside that room, and the way you ran it was flawless. And you got to a point where you got all of our coaches to get pretty much inverted and to a level where we're not quite used to.
Well, thank you for the compliment. I just this is the way I coach. There is I don't limit myself to any type of I want to say clients, different types. This is just who I am and the way I coach, and I'm sure you guys enjoyed it and learn a lot of things in terms of let's say techniques, but also approach, approach of a handstand. This is where my I want to say battle is for the people to understand that it's accessible for anybody. Anybody can do it.
I love it. So you got to this point where, like, when we were doing a lot of these handstands, that you were able to almost understand who the person you were working with almost instantaneously. and what they were struggling with currently, not only in their physical life, but potentially even their personal life. And when we were doing these movements, you're like, oh, you don't have fear around that. You have fear around this. It's like you have fear around this. And you were just able to call it out so cleanly. And I was just so blown away that I had to create an episode around it. And you broke down, I thought fear was just one big blanket term until you were like, no, there's 3 fears.
There is more than 3,
Yeah.
but especially for handstand,
Yeah.
I break it down with 3 fears. I mean, pretty much, it's like, show me how you do a handstand, I'm going to tell you who you are. It sounds like a guru thing, but it's not. It's just like your body behavior is telling me what fear you have.
Yes.
And those fears that you have while practicing handstand are the fears you have in your life. And this is the thing
So
that
good.
I realized through my my coaching, through like maybe since almost 10 years that I'm coaching handstand. I could see that okay, this person has this fear, this person has this fear. Let's work on that.
All right, before we dive into those big 3 fears, what exactly are these 3 fears?
So the first fear, it's the from standing to handstanding, and that equal into life the fear to take action. So this is just when people practicing handstand, this is the first fear that I see into them.
And then what's the second fear? We're going to go more in depth in some of these, but what's the second fear?
The second fear is it's to hold the handstand actually. Equal fear to succeed. This is the rarest one, but it actually exists. And I've seen it in some of my clients. And the last one, of course, is the fear to fall equal fear to fail.
I love it. And guys, we are going to go dive deep into this topic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so pumped about this because this is important right now because I have at any given stage in my client and coaching journey, they're handling one of those fears, right? They're either in the fear to take action. They're either in the fear to succeed, like they just don't believe they can even succeed. And then the other side is they're just afraid to fail. I just had the other clients like, how do you just do things and like not even think about it? Like I'm so scared of that. So I'm gonna share it with her when we finish this because I think it's gonna be extremely enlightening for them to see that. So let's dive into fear to action, fear to take action, because this is like the first one.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm gonna show like a video too as he's explaining what this is. And perhaps how we can tie this philosophy of the handstand side, but also apply it to whatever battle you're handling, whether it's strength, whether it's weight loss, whether it's another aspect of your life. This will absolutely apply to you. So let's talk about fear of action. How do you know when a client comes in, you're like, oh, right away?
It's just by observing. Like it's clear for me when I see somebody just to get into the process of doing a handstand, even if it's against the wall or on their own, or even with me holding them. I already see, the balance or the imbalance actually between excitement, hesitation, and like don't know what to do, and but wants to go. And this is like, you have the sweaty palms, start to sweat, even just not even starting to do it yet. It's just that. And the preparation, like, okay, how I'm going to do this, and it's like in and out, like hesitation, So this is right away, when I see that, I'm like, okay. So then what I do is like, I say, calm down and handstand, I usually show and explain what is the proper basic position to start, because most of the people they just don't know, So it's just that first approach that I simply show and tell them, okay, you need to put your feet just like this, so you you are grounded. It's very important to be grounded. Whatever you do, a handstand or any other type of exercise,
Yeah.
you need to be grounded. You need to feel that you are secure, with
Right.
your legs, because you're going to be on your hands. So you better be secure first on your legs,
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the first thing that I see. It's body behavior,
Right.
pretty much. Yeah.
It's almost, I tell athletes, the sweatiest session is not the first session. It's before you even came into the store.
Yes.
Right. And there's a lot of times that and you're really good at this. You're really good at teaching something that is potentially scary, potentially injurious, and you come in with a welcoming smile. It's like, guys, we're gonna start from ground zero. Like,
Totally.
yeah. And the way you did that was you took something that's so complex and you made it microscopically small to a
Yes.
point. So the first one I remember was like, we're just going to stretch your wrist. It got to that level, to such a small level. Anyone can stretch the wrist. My grandma can stretch her wrist.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is it? Yeah, we're just going to stretch the wrist. And we were going to do these like palm things and shifting the weight.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lesson in there. If you're like sweating and you're thinking about these other things, it's because you're already thinking about the handstand.
Yes.
Right?
Usually, it's like, when you are, let's say, a football player, soccer player.
Yeah.
It's like usually people, the athletes, they think about the game the day before. So they already thinking about the outcome, what it will be, or like, if I need to do this, I need to do that, instead of just living the moment,
Exactly.
If you do the game, if you think about the thing that before, of course you have to think about it. But if this is your focus, only that, then it's not good. And this is why your body react like this, with like sweating, and then you didn't even start,
You did it all in your head.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. And that's why it's important also to switch the mindset of people that wants to do a handstand. It's always this is the most challenging things for me. It's the mindset, because physically anybody can do it. It's just like, if you're not in the right mindset to start, then this is going to be difficult, but not impossible.
So
It's just going to take more time.
It is, yeah. Here's what's ironic. Inside that handstand workshop that you took us through, we really got to the handstand part maybe the last 5 minutes of class. And here's a life lesson for those of you guys that are really, really trying to change your life in some way. That outcome that you're trying to get is a percentage of what the work is. And there's so much more before that.
Yeah.
And it's also, here's the other thing. When I experienced your class, and as you're going to experience your weight loss journey, your strength journey, it almost feels effortless when you are around someone that can break this thing down microscopically. It was like I was stretching my hands, and then next thing I know, I'm upside down.
Yes. That's the goal. It's to not even realizing it that you're doing it.
Okay.
And then you're like, oh, okay, I just did it, and then, because it's like you need to go for it sometimes without thinking. This is the fun. This is the moment that you're getting present, and this is where you're like, oh, it wasn't that complicated.
It wasn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that you did really well. I don't know if you're doing this intentionally, but you ground us to the present by explaining the small details of where our body needs to feel something. You're like, I need you to feel the shift towards your left palm and your shoulder. You can't think about the handstand because you're thinking about these minuscule things inside these progressions.
Yes. This is intentional, and it's called trick your mind.
Okay.
Because I want you to focus on something else while you're doing, let's say, a drill for handstand. And that's become part of you.
Yes.
It's internal. It's super important, no matter what you do, to feel, to be in tune with your body.
Yeah.
Because this is where your progress is, like this, like going to the top when you feel the things. Because if you avoid the feeling by just thinking about the technique, then yes, you're going to get through it.
Yeah.
But it's going to take more time, more energy. And then one of my goals is to make things easier,
Right.
not to make things complicated.
Right.
Things are already complicated in life. Why add another one? No, you just want to make things easy. Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. So if you are scared to take action, here's two things that I'm getting out of this right now, right off the bat. Number one, take that large thing that you're trying to accomplish and break it down to not only just small actions, to micro actions.
Yes.
And the second piece to this is inside those micro actions, can you be present? Can you understand kind of what you're doing and what you're feeling in those moments? And then we start to, and that's how you break the fear of action.
It's also I call that mini wins. It's those little wins like that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like for you, it doesn't feel a win because you're like, I didn't hold the handstand for 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's a big, huge win. But before, you need to do these mini wins to accomplish what you want.
100%.
Same in your life. It's the same
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And you do a good job on that.
Thank you.
I tell my coaches, you are going to get 3 different types of clients. You're going to get a weight loss client that is absolutely a beginner. You're going to get a client that walks in that might be an athlete right off the bat, which is very rare, right? And then you're going to have someone that's been doing this for a long time. They just want to keep doing it for a very long time. That's like the third pinnacle. And you communicate with them all differently. For the weight loss client, you want to speak to them in microtransaction wins. How many wins can you stack with them, right? And then the athlete, you need to speak to them in weaknesses. This is an area that we need to improve. Let's attack that. And then the longevity person, you actually want to speak to them as in we, because they will feel alone. They will feel alone because they're injured. They will feel alone because it's like, I'm just keep doing this over and over. So you want to have a communication platform with them where it's like, hey, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
Right? What's the intention? How do you keep going? So you just take them from the me component to the we. But what's really interesting on the weight loss side, I like the weight loss wins are like, hey, dude, you made it in. This is your first day. And I high five them, right? Or you got your first 3 days in, or they lost their first pound, or they drank their first glass of water.
Those are wins.
Those are massive wins.
Yes.
So explain to me, when you start to stack these wins, because you've been training people to do these handstands, what happens to them when you're like, hey, congratulations, you just actually lifted your leg off the ground, or you did this wrist stretch for once? What's happening to them?
The big thing that is happening because I tell them, they don't realize that they did a win. It's like a realization. It's like a revelation. That means that once they pass this first win, I tell them and I say, did you realize what you just did?
Yeah.
Most of the time they say, no. I say, so you did this, and this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And now become the next step.
Yeah.
From realization to something, even if it's small, but it's already something, to revelation.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. So if I'm able to do this without even realizing it, then I can do more, and I can do more, and I can do more, and anything is possible. I introduce inspiration.
Yeah.
Not motivation. It's more inspiration than motivation, because I like to tell them that yes, I can be an inspiration for them and that's one of my goals. But they can also be an inspiration for themselves. And once they are an inspiration for themselves, they can inspire others.
I love it.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is motivation is very external, and then inspiration is very internal.
Totally.
And when you start to show them that they're stacking a ton of wins, they internally motivate, like, wait, maybe I can do the next level of this drill.
Yeah.
Because I have evidence I did 7 drills that Mathieu gave me, and he said it was flawless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe I can probably do step 7. Maybe I can do step 6. I'll just attempt that. When you start to stack wins, you not only have these little dopamine hits, but I think you also have these hits of confidence.
Oh, yeah.
And that confidence can do some crazy things.
This is my quote, actually. It's you don't have to be strong and confident to practice handstand. Practicing handstand will make you strong and confident. So I revert or invert. Let's say both, So like these people can be like, okay.
Say that again for the audience. So because they have this on 2x speed. I don't know why you guys have 2x speed. Slow it down really quick.
Yeah.
And just write that down real fast. What was it again?
You don't have to be strong and confident to practice handstand, but practicing handstand will make you strong and confident.
So good.
And so simple.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so we're now on the action phase. So for those of you guys that are afraid to take action, break it down into mini steps, be present in the moment, you'll start taking action.
Yeah.
Which leads us to this next position, which is fear to take, or is it fear
to succeed?
Fear to succeed. Oh, I'm going to love this one.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
this
explain
one
to
is,
this.
So I observed that when people were ready to hold the handstand, because they took so many actions that it leads naturally to hold it, because that's the point. Most of them were panicking when they were holding it.
Yeah.
For me, that means that not that they weren't ready. No, they were ready for it, physically and mentally. It's just that their mind started to freak out, like, oh, this is too good to be true.
Yes.
Why? Why me? Why now? Why am I holding it? So then they start to shake, and then not falling, because that's the last fear. But they come back on their feet, and they were like, no, this is just luck. I always say that as a joke with them. Okay, so you hold this one, show me that it wasn't luck. So they do it again, and then see that they do it. They can do it once. They can repeat it like as many as they want. That's the thing. It's just a physiological aspect. It's internal, as well. It's like, oh, I'm holding it. It's almost saying, this is not good.
Yeah.
No, I don't deserve that.
Yeah.
So this is the toughest one to work on, because it's coming from a place of confidence.
Yeah.
And then acceptation for yourself, but also for the society, let's say, for the others.
I call it identities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like kind of also imposter syndrome, like, oh no, I did it, but
I'm not supposed to be an athlete.
Who said that I would be able to hold a handstand in my life?
Yeah.
So they deny that. And that's why when they do the good job and then they hold in it, it's becoming like you're sabotaging yourself.
100%.
And then the learning process of that, it's so amazing to witness, because when you want to transform the mind of somebody that is feeling like as an imposter, there is only not so many tricks that you can do, but I always say that you need to put yourself in a bubble.
Right.
Like it's only you doing it.
Yeah.
So when they are in this protective bubble, they can, when they are in this protective bubble, they just can be sure that they're gonna hold it, but for the good reason. Like they're gonna just be there and then be proud of themselves. And then usually the magic happen. They hold it for more than they are expecting.
Yeah. I'll see it when we were doing the drills.
Yeah.
Madison would kick up and she would just hold it for 1 or 2 seconds. He was like, that was too easy. That doesn't make any sense.
And but on top of that, I didn't ask her to hold it.
Yeah. It just happens.
Because she just repeat and then get the flawless movement. Only that will lead you to hold it without wanting it.
Yeah, you didn't want it.
Yeah.
And here's how this equates in my world. We'll often take athletes through a nutrition challenge, nutrition transformations, and they're very easy. Like, hey, I need you to eat 3 pounds of protein, 3 fist size of vegetables, 3 carbs every single day, and then drink about 100 ounces of water. And they repeat this for 6 weeks, and they'll
Yeah.
lose an extent of like 10, some of them 20 pounds, some of them 30 pounds. And they'll be like, is it supposed to be this easy? And it was like,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And then they're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is supposed to be this easy.
I see where you're going.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And most people panic when they lose 2 pounds right off the bat, 4 pounds right off the bat. And they almost, they get to this position where they feel like they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And they feel like it's not supposed to be that easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really interesting conversation because you have to like pull them back. And when they say things like that, you have to like, who told you it wasn't supposed to be that easy?
Yeah. Probably the oldest generation. You
Right.
need to work hard to get what you want.
Right.
Nowadays, it's not work hard,
Yeah.
it's work smart.
Right.
It's just that, you
Yeah.
know. And then to just guide them to be smart with their nutrition, and then the result it's instant.
Right.
That's why they're like kind of lost. Like, wait, this is crazy. I just lost 2 pounds in 2 days
Yeah.
without just changing a little thing.
Yeah.
What?
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And here's what's cool. Sometimes for you to progress to the next level, you don't need more information. You need less information that's potent. And inside that less, it's a lot of those actions that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right? So one thing that we did inside those progressions is we did those mini wins and mini progressions for like 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. So it's like, and we don't even do the handstand until, and that's like the same thing with your nutrition. Like you got to do the basics. You can't just eat vegetables one time and expect to lose weight, or drink water one time and expect your body and its chemical reactions to be in this homeostasis.
Yeah.
It's going to take time, and you got to be present in those mini wins.
Yeah.
And then at some point, all of those things start to manifest.
Yes. It's also because the aspect of fluidity and repetition. The more you repeat something, the more you're going to become good at it.
Right.
You just need to focus not on like repeating like just like this. You want to repeat it with fluidity, become flawless. This is when the magic happens as well.
Yeah.
It's when you're forcing the things, the movement, then it's going to become like a robot. And then you're going to be sore, and then you're going to have your body limited movement. When you're doing with a state of mind of okay, I'm going to try to be fluid. I'm gonna have my leg straight when it's in the air. I'm just going to try to land properly when I finish the handstand, because the handstand is finished not when you're on your hands. It's when you come back on your feet. That's also another thing, you know. So fluidity and repetition, it's essential, because you saw during the workshop that we did, I just ask you to repeat one movement 5 times. But then after that, you continue to repeat, and then it becomes easier.
Right.
And you even hold the handstand.
Yes.
Because the more fluid, the more confidence. It's like you're coming from a vicious cycle to a healthy cycle, you know? And this is so mesmerizing to witness from my point of view, because I'm like, this is really working. And then I see the change of the person that is doing it right now in front of me.
Right.
You know?
There was a lesson in there while I was watching you teach. It was just beautiful. But you were doing, I thought there was only like 1 or 2 progressions to do the handstands, but you broke it up even more and more and more, to a point that I just started to trust the progression so much that success inevitably just happened. Right?
Yeah.
And there's a new affirmation that I've been telling myself: be attached more to the actions than the outcome. And when I start focusing on that, and when you start focusing on just the progressions, just like what you said, the progression that I missed was the handstands are finished not at the top, but when you land. I was like, I got to perfect this land. And what was interesting is that preparation of landing made me more rigid to get to the top.
Yes. Rigid.
or just more confident to get to the top?
Yes. Yes. Because rigid means like for me robotic.
Yeah.
But I'm playing with the words as a French.
Yeah.
But it's you got to take the whole aspect, of things, and it's I think it's essential and even crucial that you need to think of not forcing the things and then doing it with fluidity. It's for me this word is very important. Like also the same in life,
Yeah.
like you got to be fluid, you got to be effortless.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're forcing success, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like the biggest lesson here.
Yeah.
If you're forcing success, you're missing one or two progressions somewhere. Success should just happen.
Or maybe not, because if you're forcing it too much,
Yeah.
then success might not happen. Sometimes, and it happened to me as a performer as well. I wanted to be in that show, to be there, and then I was forcing it, and
Yeah.
it never happened until the point I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let go.
Right.
I'm just gonna let go. This is also a thing for handstand.
Yeah.
It's letting go. If you let go, things happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, so let's go into part 3 of this.
Yeah.
Fear of failure, which is kind of selfishly probably where I'm at constantly.
Well, because you are also an entrepreneur, so there is when it's on your own, you want to calculate the risk that you are taking it,
Yeah.
But when it comes to handstand, if you already in your mind thinking, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to try, but I know I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
But of course you're going to fall if you repeat that into your mind, it's important, especially on handstand, to know how to fall. Of course, to prevent injuries, to not hurt yourself, but it's super important, because if you know how to fall already, then you can try.
You can take
Because
as many attempts you want.
exactly, you can take like hundreds attempts, and it's going to be fine, and because you know how to fall, you're not going to be focused on that. You're going to be focused on your succeed, on like, okay, now that I'm taking the action, and now that I know how to hold it, I'm just going to focusing on that. And if I fall, since I know how I fall, how I know how to fall, then I fall, and then I repeat.
Yeah.
It's like building a business. You fail because you try.
Yeah.
But okay,
Yeah.
then what? Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And let's do it again
This
until
is
you
so
succeed.
good.
Yeah. That's why it's also important to be aware of this fear, because it applies into your life. Like, oh, I'm starting this, but I know I'm not going to make it. Well, it's just it's a state of mind that you need to work on while practicing handstand. Actually,
It's so good.
Yeah.
There's one particular scenario with one of my clients. Like, I'm just afraid to be injured, and we just chase that rabbit down. It's like, okay, so if you're injured, what does that mean? It's like, that means I'm not going to be able to work out like I used to. It's like, what was it? What was used to mean? And used to meant, used to meant 3, like right now, used to is working 3 days a week and then being able to do all that. And I went beyond before that. I was like, what was used to before that? And she was like, I didn't work out at all. So you already been there. That's the worst case scenario, is you navigating that area again. But theoretically, if you did get injured, are you never going to work out? She was like, no, I'm actually going to be working out more to perfect this. So it's really interesting. Sometimes we think we don't know how to fail in particular. Possibly in gymnastics, you taught us the wrist, you taught us that. That's really, really important. But in other aspects of life, your fall is already where you are now.
Totally.
Right? And it's like, listen, man, you have only room to grow. The worst case scenario oftentimes is you're going to get to where you are now.
Yeah. and it's if you focus on that, on your failure, then you're gonna get stuck. You know, it's important to acknowledge it, but then you want to use it. Sorry, I'm starting to be a little
No, this is
passion, and
good.
because
Yeah.
I love talking about that. Um, uh, what I was saying? Yeah, the if you're focusing on that, then you're gonna be stuck.
Yeah.
You know, your mind will be stuck on that, and then of course it will happen. If you're focusing on one thing, like constantly, positive or negative, then it will happen. Like you will bring an attraction. I call it the universe. Let's say
Yeah.
that is gonna. Okay, you want that? Okay, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
injured. Let's do that. Instead of okay, I got injured. Now, how can I prevent that for next time and then become stronger, the better version of myself than before? You know, using the simple example as the empty cup or
The full
the
cup.
yeah
Yeah.
and the full cup,
Mm-hmm.
half. Where do you want to see that?
Yes.
It's only your choice. It's
Yeah.
nobody else's choice. It's your choice. You want to see the half empty or half full.
So
Listen, if you're trying to lose weight, but you're just frustrated because you just can't seem to see any results, we would love to help you out. Now, we've been helping thousands of our athletes over the course of a decade by crafting personalized programs that are not only sustainable, but also effective. Now, if you're ready to transform your health, click on the show notes below, book a call with one of our coaches. We'd love to help you out. Now, back to the show.
No matter what happened to you, if you fail, actually it's actually good, because no matter what happened to you, then you can be resilient and then start a new journey,
So
a
good.
better one,
Yeah.
because this is life. If you don't fail, then you don't experience anything. You know, you need to fail
So
to be
good.
successful, actually.
And guys, there's always that one person that's like, it's easier for you to say, you guys are already fit, you did this, you did that. There's this book here, okay? There's this book that this guy just wrote, and there were two particular events in this book where you had chicken pox, and then the
Yes.
other one when you broke your leg,
Yes.
which I would consider from outside looking in. I was like, that's a big failure, right? Or that's that. So when this guy is speaking, he's speaking from experience, not just from like theory. I want to break down those two events, because those are two pivotal events that made you really one of the elements that made you create this book.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the chicken pox, and then let's talk about the leg break.
Okay.
So what happened there?
So I mean,
Chronologically,
chrono-
I got you, bro. I'll be your
chronologically,
speech person.
it's the opposite. It's the leg that I broke, and then the chicken pox. So maybe let's start with the leg.
Okay, I'll start with the
Okay.
leg.
So when I was working in the show car, during a training of an act called Pillars, they took it off because it was too dangerous.
I'm gonna put a video on.
Yeah.
There's videos on this. It's called Pillars.
Pillars.
Okay, so
I
okay.
did an acrobatic trick.
Yeah.
During training, I was doing it in the show already, but I'm like, okay, today I'm going to do it again,
Yeah.
as a Taurus, stubborn, okay,
Yeah.
let's do it. But then I just fell from 15 feet, land on my feet
my
before the pillars,
gosh.
like straight. And
Higher
then
than this.
I was like, okay. And then no pain until I look down and I see my leg bent, but the other way.
Oh my gosh. Like
Wow.
an alien.
Yeah. So I broke my leg the other way, and my plateau tibia just broke. And
Okay.
and after that, as an acrobat, when something happened to you like this, you feel useless. Like, how I'm gonna come back on my feet? How I'm gonna just getting back on track, getting back in the show. This is my whole life. I train my whole life to be on stage, and then to show people my abilities and such. But I'm like, oh, this is gone. So then my mind start to freak out, and then like, you're never gonna be able to do this, to do this, to do this. And then couple weeks later, I had a revelation, a simple one, like, well, if I can't use my legs, why I don't use my hands?
Yeah.
Simple. I'm like, okay, so I was as a gymnast before.
Yeah.
I knew how to do a handstand, but I'm like, okay, let's focus on handstand, like only that.
Yeah.
What can I do? How can I inspire people by doing things? And that's how I became a handstand master,
Specialist. Jeez. Yeah.
because I failed breaking my leg, you know?
What is happening right now? You're going from a person's most traumatic, probably athletic experience,
I am.
and then you've somehow cultivated this into an art and a mastery now.
Yes.
Keep going. Sorry, man. That's
Yeah,
just beautiful.
I mean, this is I'm like, okay, again, there is something here, you know. I already have the base because I worked 16 years as a gymnast, high level gymnast. So I'm like, okay, so I know how to do a handstand. Let's explore more. What can I do? One arm, handstand push-ups, going 100 steps, going down, walking handstand 100 steps in France. I have the video on YouTube if you want to check. I even did a handstand on the top of a moving car.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so you see, like, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. And that's why I because of that event,
Yeah.
I became a handstand master, you know, and then the way I teach handstand is because of that.
This is so good. This is so for one particular part of my life, I'm not afraid to fail in terms of fitness. I'll test things a
Yeah.
lot. And one of the principles here is because I believe anytime I fail in my fitness, I not only have a net positive experience, it's an exponential positive experience.
Yes.
And it's shown when I tweaked my back and I started Murph, and like when I tore my both biceps, I was able to do even more pull-ups beyond that, right? I actually started working my legs. There's always a net positive. It's not even like for one failure you get 1 plus. I feel like for one failure in fitness, you get like 10x, maybe even 100x return.
Yes.
So that's I want to show you guys this. It sounds extreme, but there's little areas of your little injuries that might happen, like a rolled ankle or an elbow sprain or a shoulder sprain. That problem will yield more benefit to you in the long run than you even realize.
Yeah.
And
100%.
So okay, keep going with your injury. Really quick on this, because this was what happened to me. I didn't break my leg, but I had a massive ankle sprain from. I used to be able to jump high. I like blocked a ball, in basketball, and I rolled my ankle on someone. So for the longest time, I'm like, if that person wasn't there, I'd be able to. I'd still be. Be doing this. So I'm in this
if yeah.
Tell me about that. Did that happen to you? Did you get into those modes? What was that like? How did you get out of it?
Well, I yes, but it's a blessing. I take it as a blessing, because if I didn't, let's say if I don't injure myself that day, I don't break my leg, maybe I'm not going to be the person I am today. You know, which it's just a perspective.
Yes.
You know, I'm like this. I take it that way. Like, it's a blessing that I got injured. So like this, I could explore another part that I didn't even thought about.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you.
Yeah.
You know, thank you very much. But now it's just, of course, sometimes you think about this if,
Yeah.
but it's gone.
Yeah.
So you just have to move on and then take what you've been through into a positive attitude, positive things. You know, yeah.
It's essentially taking this if moment.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, like what if this person was there? What if this stratus was in a good place? And you take it to the wonder part. You take the if into wonder.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder why this lesson is here for me. I wonder what else my body can do. And when you start to transfer from that, this is how you transfer from the moment where you fail. Just turn the if into the wonder part.
I just call that, I mean, not only me, but a lot of people, it's just trusting the process. You gotta trust.
Yeah.
Like this is it happened. Anything happened for a reason, and you just gotta embrace that and then just trust the process. That's what I did. But it took me a couple of months to realize that okay, I feel miserable. This is not fair. I feel like like a victim.
Yeah.
But no, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's just like meant to be. So, what is the lesson here? What is the message that why that happened? And then by letting it go, by trusting the process, you got your answers. Pretty
That's
much.
so good. And guys, just we're not like superhuman. This transformation didn't happen the moment he broke his leg. This
know.
was 2 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? You're battling different versions of you. You are going to feel like you're a victim at one point. But at some point, you have to wonder. You have to start asking, why is this obstacle in front of me?
Yeah.
In whatever life you're in, why did I gain all this weight? Why did I get a heart attack? Why is my A1C off?
Yeah.
And why did my wife leave me? Like there's ask yourself those questions. They're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And if you chase it long enough and with high enough intensity, you're going to get a massive exponential positive return.
And intention, good intention. You always want to think of, as I said, as a positive thing. Like you need to set up the good intention for yourself, because if you don't put good intention to yourself, then even more bad stuff can happen. You need to be you need to take care of yourself.
Right.
We have this body, it's for a reason. We have these things happen to our body or to our mind, it's for a reason. You need to take care of that,
Right.
and embracing that, letting go. It's sort of mix of state of minds that you need to find them in a balanced way. Yeah.
Okay, so you started to understand that you were like, wait, I can still use my arms. When did you know at some state that this can actually be an act, or this can be actually a place for your next level?
Oh, so it took me 3 years. I left Cirque du Soleil because I wanted to do. I felt ready to do something on my own.
Right.
With my hands, like as a hand balancing act.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something special. I didn't want to copy. I wanted to make something unique.
Right.
As we all are, we all are unique.
We're all
but
very creative,
I like to be creative, and then that will also, it's a source of inspiration for people.
So good.
But then, so this is what happened. So I left Cirque in January 2010, and I'm coming back home in France. And then within 2-3 weeks, I contracted chickenpox.
Oh my gosh.
At the age of 30.
Which is rare, and it's more fatal when you're older. By
totally.
The way, guys,
like
you can die.
I can tell you that I almost died. I took it as a joke first. I was in France. I was about to go out with my friends to celebrate my comeback. And France. And then I was taking a shower, and I was like, oh, I feel something like
itchy
here, you know. And then I'm like, whoa. And then suddenly, boom, just those pimples just appears. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
I'll take a snapshot of the picture. That's on the photos.
Yeah.
So they know.
And then I'm like, okay, I need to see a doctor. So then I went to see the doctor, and then he's like, okay, take out your shirt and then show me that. And then he's like, okay, you have chickenpox.
Wow.
And me, I'm like, what?
I'm 30.
What? I'm 30?
Yeah.
And I start to laugh. I'm like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. This is not a joke. This is not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of days later, this is when it starts to be like really horrible. All the pimples everywhere in my body, and then complication. My day, literally my day was try to sleep, waking up, having my coffee, and then go back to sleep. I couldn't do
anything.
Like he was
Couldn't even eat.
no,
Oh my gosh.
no, because at some point I got pimples inside my lungs.
What?
Yeah. On the
Okay.
left lung, I got hundreds of them. I
Okay.
couldn't breathe. So one day, I was
Just
I
trying
was
to breathe.
Yeah.
Fighting for
So
breath.
I went to the emergency, and then I did you know X-rays scan and everything, and then the doctor said you know in front of my mother and then my sister, like, oh, we need to do more scan because you are about that to
To die.
to die, because if one pimple inside just burst,
Oh. You eat to death.
gone. And I'm like, okay. And my
Yeah.
sister and mother are crying. I'm like, hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm here.
Good.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then after, let's say, a couple of months with a lot of antibiotics, and I mean, unfortunately, I have to take those,
Yeah.
to get rid of those pimples. I'm like, okay, now it's start to go back to train,
Yeah.
because I came back to train, to create my act, and then to be stronger than ever. So I go to the gym, and I'm like, okay, let's do a handstand, and then I just do my handstand, and I just fall, not rolling,
Just
fall on my
collapse.
flat on my back.
Back. Oh.
Since that day, I'm like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
I lost everything.
Yeah.
I lost everything. My
Dumb strength.
my strength, my balance, my sensation, all of the stuff that I built for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years gone. Gone. I'm like, really? Okay, what's the message here? Again? So that became even like more challenging.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so how I'm going to get rid of that, how I'm going to build back my immune system, how I'm going to train again, and how I'm going to create my act and then start to work,
Yeah.
Took me 2 years pretty much to go back normal and then start to create the act. But I started to think of life as and then training as a holistic aspect. That's why I also became now a holistic fitness coach,
Yeah.
taking the whole aspect of the person,
Yeah.
not only the physical and mental. There's so much more.
Nutrition, stress,
Yeah,
sleep.
emotional,
Got it.
social, and all of that. So I was good luck to me. I was surrounded by amazing people. My personal trainer in France, they are twins, and they took care of me. They're like, okay, so let's start again with the basics. I'm like, really, and then
It's like,
took
this
me,
is for my grandma, man.
yeah, it took me time and lots of effort, because first session I did with them, I threw up. I never threw up usually.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No, so it was difficult. But then after that, after a couple of years, I came back stronger and stronger and stronger. Because it's you, and that reminds me that I need to take care of myself, and then think about more now. About nutrition and mental and psychological health as
Wow.
well. It's I didn't think about this aspect because, you're 30, you're like, okay, now I want to do this. But then that chickenpox things happen. So I'm like, okay, I need to take a little step back and then think differently now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to ask some of these questions. When you were, by the way, your Rocky scene was 2 years, by the way, guys. So Rocky scene is a long time. Getting back to fight again, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Did you use any of your past experiences towards those 2 years of rehab? Like,
Yeah.
what were some of those things?
I
Like
used
some of
my
those-
gymnastics years.
Okay.
Actually.
Like in what
Discipline.
ways? Discipline.
Discipline, hard work. Because gymnastics, like if you want to be at the top, you need to work hard,
Yeah.
But also I introduced the smart work.
Yeah.
Like what I realized it, you don't need to work out every day if you want to reach out your goals. What is important, it's in between your workout. It's what you do during your workout, like resting, sleep,
Managing your stress.
managing the stress, having other interests
Beyond.
than just
wow.
what your work and then your passion. No, I discovered with my best friend hiking.
Yeah.
I
Like,
never
what is
hiked
this?
before. This is so important.
Yeah.
To and to be in nature.
Right.
Like I was too much like this. I'm like, oh no, I need to get out of this to come back stronger and better. So that you need to introduce that as well.
Yeah.
No, if you only focus, this is great to be focused, but sometimes you need to take a little step back and then to break, to break. Like, okay, today I'm not gonna work out because my body is sore, or like I don't feel it. I just need to get out of the house and then just go hiking or swim or do something, socialize with friends. It's so important to balance every aspect of that.
There's someone listening to this right now, and they're probably hit that rock bottom moment where they're like, I'm starting all over again. But I asked those prior questions because there's something special about there. You're never starting over. You're starting from experience.
Yeah.
And you may not take your valuable body from 20 years ago, like the 20 years to where your injuries are, but what you can take is your values. Just like you said, oh, I took my hard work, I took my discipline, and I added a few more things. That is what you're taking into your next journey.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to make you way stronger. This is why it's exponential, because you're taking a lot of your prior values, where you've mastered a whole lot of things. You hit a block, you take all those values that got you there, and then you're exponentially turning into this machine.
Yeah. And I want to say the reward is the more I age, the stronger and younger I feel.
Which blows my mind.
This is amazing. I turn 45, and people ask me like, no, you're not 45. No, show me your ID. Yes, I'm 45.
Right.
And because it's just my state of mind, and of course I maintain myself by doing almost every day some little handstand, preparing for my acts. I have some shows going on, and stuff, and then my also my clients, I want to be the perfect example for them.
Right.
Like if I teach handstand, but I'm not able to do a handstand for 30 seconds when I'm talking, then I should leave. No, I want to be able to do that for the rest of my life.
Right.
And then with that state of mind, actually, I think it comes from the state of mind to feel stronger and even younger than before. Like the Benjamin Button type of thing.
This is what's ironic. I think a lot of times people think it's just too late, but I'm going to tell you, I'm actually in my 20s and 30s, I thought I was pretty fit. And then from 20s to 35s, like I thought I was pretty fit too. And now I'm like going into the 40s. I'm like, dude, I think this is like, I feel like I'm getting younger. I'm feeling I'm getting stronger. And I'm just like, when does this stop? Like from 40 to 50, do I get stronger even
Maybe
more?
Maybe never going to stop.
So,
And
I'm meeting guys like you, and I'm like, this is constant. What else is possible, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just not afraid to fail anymore, primarily because, number one, the experience is going to be net positive.
Yeah.
And then the other side is I'm never starting over. I'm starting from experience.
Yes.
And that experience is unreal. And then what you're going to see beyond that is nothing that you've expected. Did you know you were going to be a handstand special? Did you know you were going to create some of these items? Did you know you were going to create a lot of these books?
Not at all.
Right.
What I'm the most proud of, it's just I wrote a book.
Yeah.
It's
a great book, man.
Like I wrote a book, and then I'm like, wow. But my point is, I wrote a book for people.
Yeah.
It's not to show up or anything. It's just taking my experience and my expertise and show that anything is possible.
Right.
Don't limit your challenges. Never. You don't want you don't want to do that. Like anything is possible, literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Give me some practical, tactical steps here for the athletes that you were like, you're seeing them do the handstands right away. You're like, this person's afraid to fail. How do you coach them to break that?
By simply go to the base.
Go back to the basics.
Go back to the basics always, because you don't want to force it. When I see somebody, for example, has a struggle just to invert, going from the feet position to the hand, it can be scary. So sometimes I break down the exercise simply on the floor, or
Yeah.
with the help of the wall, because the wall, it's an amazing tool.
Yeah.
But one thing about the wall, it can be your best friend, but it can be also your enemy. Because if you using too much the wall, then after, when you're gonna have to do it without the wall, you're gonna feel a little lost and be
Yeah.
like, hey, can I do it again one more time on the wall? So
Yeah.
you want to balance that. You want to use it as a tool, not
Yeah.
as a
Crutch
complete
almost.
support.
So good. I think I've been using it as a crutch. That's why I can't get into any freestands. Right? I'm better walking on my hands than sitting still.
Okay.
Right? And it's just I can see if you don't practice enough on the freestand side, how that can actually happen.
It's like walking.
Yeah.
It's the same. I take this example, and I love to take this example because it might sound too good to be true or easy to say, but
Yeah.
it's actually the way I see it. Take an example as you standing up.
Yeah.
When you are standing up, you don't force,
Right.
right? Like your knees are locked, like your ankle is locked, like everything is locked, and then you don't force. You can stay for hours like this. It's the same on your hands, and it's the same for walking. When you walk, when you want to walk on your feet, and this is unconscious because now we don't think about it because it's so natural. You put your body in an unbalanced position, moving forward, and what's happening? It's your leg catch.
Right.
You catch the balance.
Right.
And again and again and again. This is walking.
Yeah.
It's the same to walk on your hands.
So true.
When you're on a handstand
Yeah.
position, you want to walk, either position, either way, you got to put first your body into an unbalanced position.
Yeah.
Then your arms catch it.
Right.
But the more you master the holding,
Easier.
standing position, the easier you're gonna walk,
That's
either
true.
on your feet or on your hands.
That's so
So
true.
I just reverse the thing. One of my goal is I want to democratize handstand. Like it's
that everyone should be able to do it.
yes, and using it
So
for
good.
your own life, because believe it or not, I mean, when you did the workshop with me,
Yeah.
you were pretty tired. It's like a full
for sure.
workout.
Yeah.
And we didn't even lift no, you just
at all.
lift your body, and
Yeah.
you can. I experienced, like with a lot of my clients, when I was teaching them handstand, they were overweight and now they are lean because of practicing handstand, because of that. So, it's there is a physiological aspect of it that it's good for you. It's good for your body. It's good for your mind.
It
to do
is.
that.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
body should be able to do stuff like that. I love that word, how you tried to do it. Because I think for me, I can democratize pull-ups really easy for me. But then handstands was so tough until I met you. And I'm like, okay, I can see how you can get
Yeah.
a 300-pound person to be able to do this at one point. But
Totally.
yeah, like when you start doing a lot of those progressions, because we were doing those progressions, I was fatiguing out.
Yeah.
One story I wanted to add really quick, because I'll see a lot of athletes, they'll get to like a muscle up, for example, or they'll get their first kipping handstand push-up,
Yeah.
right? And then they'll get injured and they stop going to the basics.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest thing. If you find yourself injured, it's because we've neglected the basics all of a sudden in your
Totally.
progress, and you're just doing too much of the advance.
Totally.
What's in your work? How much basics do you do now compared to what you were doing? Like, so you were like super, super hardcore Olympic level gymnast, right? And then to the brand new elementary, then you're doing a lot of foundations. How much more foundations are you doing when you're at this level?
When I was a gymnast, you mean?
Yeah, at the highest level. Do you still do foundations or?
I mean, every gymnast start their training with that. Their warm up is the foundation. They have to
Wow.
condition your body. It's conditioning your body for the rest, for whatever you want to do, whatever you want to accomplish. It's when I have a show, for example, I do my warm up, but right away I'm going into my basic handstand.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel ready. You
Right.
know, it's in the book. In the book, you have the 7 steps, and the second step. I mean, the first steps you have the how to warm up properly.
Yeah.
You know, as a like I take it like the gymnast warm up, basic, and then after it's condition your body, prepare your body for handstand, and this is the base that I do every time that when I do a show, before I do my workout.
Yeah.
This is my warm up, pretty much.
This is a lesson in here, guys. If you're trying to get to the top of the top, you not only master the basics, you take those basics and it becomes your warm up.
It's become your routine.
It becomes your routine.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like those are and this applies into your nutrition.
Yeah.
Right? Too many times people are counting their calories, yet they don't even have the fundamentals of eating the right proteins or eating whole foods. Right? Let's stay there, and then maybe we can start to apply some of these more complex things.
Yeah.
Right?
You're gonna save time by doing that instead of taking the fastest route. It's always like this, because in the end you can go to the fastest route, but there's going to be a block at some point.
Yeah.
So what happens is like, then you gotta go back. But if you do a little bit every day this routine, then you're gonna be on the long run. It's gonna get you faster, for sure,
So
by
good.
taking that.
I
Yeah.
love it. Okay. All right. One little tactic, just to kind of sum up kind of what we went over. Just give one tactic. If a person is struggling to take action, give them one tactic. If a person's struggling to understand that they're allowed to succeed. And then the last one is they're afraid to fail. Give like some really just quick, this is what you need to do on each one.
So for the person that is like afraid to take action, like from standing to handstanding, just start with the simplest movement on the floor, which is like a plank position.
Yeah.
With 1 foot bent, and then you just kick. You just kick your leg. That's it. You will already feel that, it's just the beginning of the handstand, and I'm doing it. It's simple. It's very simple. You just need to decompose the movement, because it's not
You're okay?
standing to handstand. No,
Yeah.
there is many micro steps in between, and you want
Yeah.
to start with the first one, which is putting your hands on the floor, getting like a starting block, like
Right.
and then you just kick your leg and see what happens.
And for those of you guys that are trying to work out for the first time too, what this can look like is like just tying your shoes. Put your running shoes up front, your front door. I guarantee you'll probably go for a walk as soon as you put those shoes on. And if you don't, that's okay too. But these are the micro steps.
Yeah. Yes.
And like do the micro steps if you're not taking any action.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me the second one.
The second one, so if you have to succeed, right?
To succeed, yes.
I like 2 ways actually. Okay. First, you can use the wall. So in either way, either side. So like this, you want to, if you are on a handstand position against the wall, what you want to focusing on your legs, and then doing some maybe, alternate leg on the wall. Okay. So like this is tricking your mind. You're focusing on the legs while you're holding it.
Yeah.
With the help of the wall. And the second one, this is my favorite one. It's the look at your feet.
Look at your feet.
So look at your feet. It's if somebody is on a handstand position and then but I hold the person or against the wall, you then want to look at your feet. That will automatically lock your body in the position to hold it. It's really magical. I think you experienced that,
Yeah,
right?
I did. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'll put a video on there.
Yes. And then the last one, to fall, right? The fear to fall. So in this one, it's just a simple step. It's just rolling on your back on the floor, and then try to learn just a front roll the proper way. It's in my book as well.
Practice failing.
Yes.
Right? Practice failing. Practice how you would get from rock bottom to the top.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So I want to end on that because that kind of sums up kind of what we just talked about. How can people find you? So I can put some links below.
On Instagram, I have 2 Instagram, one for the coaching and then one for my performance. It's Matteo Bolillo.
I'll put it on there.
Yes,
I'll
and
put
then the
that
other
link
one
on
is
there.
Bolillo Mathieu.
Got it.
Then I also have my website for entertainment, MathieuBolillo.com. I am building right now a course as well. It's not ready yet, but it will be. And then you can find me here coaching as well.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, if you guys like this episode, I was looking at a camera like right here. The camera's right there. I got a third camera, right? If you guys like this episode, there's probably an episode up above here that you're probably going to enjoy because YouTube knows exactly what you need to watch next. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.